It's now been over a year since LEGO Star Wars Battles released, and it's coming up to a year in November when LEGO Star Wars Castaways released, both onto the Apple Arcade. Both games have been receiving content pretty much every month, and although I'm not the biggest mobile gamer, they are a lot of fun in their own ways. Now that it has been pretty much a year for both, what's next for the future of Star Wars games on the Apple Arcade? Will we get more? How long will Battles and Castaways receive content for? And could these games even release on other platforms? The potential for these two games to release on consoles, for example, are definitely there. Sure, they're Apple Arcade exclusive on mobile, but LEGO Brawls initially released on the Apple Arcade on September 19th, 2019, which is exactly when the Apple Arcade first came out. Fast forward to September 2nd, 2022, so nearly 3 years later, the game released on Windows, Nintendo Switch, PS4 and 5, and Xbox One and Series S and X. Given that LEGO Brawls has done that, I'd love nothing more than to see Battles and Castaways on other platforms as well. LEGO Star Wars Castaways in particular I think would work incredibly well on consoles and PC, so I really hope that someday that does happen, as I would grind it out so much more if it did, and I think there could be some really fun streams and content made for it, and the same goes for LEGO Star Wars Battles. Looking back to the Apple Arcade, I think it's a really great idea and I can totally see the appeal to release a game on there, especially with big IPs like LEGO Star Wars. That does however mean that Android users unfortunately miss out on these games, and I hate seeing people miss out on Star Wars. If we were to get more Star Wars games on the Apple Arcade, then for one thing I don't think it would be LEGO, as we already have the two I've been talking about all video, and of course we do have Star Wars Hunters releasing next year on iOS, Android and Nintendo Switch. Now Hunters is a pretty big deal for mobile games, so I feel like Lucasfilm will want to keep that the main focus of the mobile market for the coming year. Sure, okay, Hunters, Battles and Castaways are all very different, and two of them are platform and subscription locked, but you still don't want to create competition for yourself in any way, though I suppose from Lucasfilm's perspective, as long as you're playing a Star Wars game, then they're probably quite happy. We know from a report the other week from Tom Henderson that Lucasfilm want to release 2 games per year, with one of them being a mobile game or a smaller game like Squadrons. Hunters releases next year, and I personally think it's going to set a pretty high bar in terms of the quality of a mobile game, not just for Star Wars but the industry as a whole. With that in mind, I think other future mobile Star Wars games will need to make sure it's a quality title. There is definitely going to be a big future for Star Wars games on mobile, so I really hope that they don't get locked behind the Apple Arcade. Whilst I personally don't mind it as I have an iPhone, I'd rather have to pay for a mobile game specifically, or it have microtransactions done correctly so that Android players can play it as well, as opposed to them locking it behind the Apple Arcade. Like I said, there is definitely a future for Star Wars mobile games whether you like it or not, so in future videos I will be making some concepts for Star Wars video games that I'd like to see, and I'll be sure to add some Star Wars mobile games in those videos as well. Anyway guys, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Should we get more Star Wars games in the Apple Arcade or not? That is it from me today though, thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.